which leads us into step 5, which says respond to feedback. See, when you take a first action, is that necessarily going to be the right one? No. But you can't get feedback unless you take the action. And some of us are so afraid of doing the wrong thing, we wait until like 18 doves fly over our house in the sign of a cross. Oh, it must be the ideal auspicious day, and then we take action. Well, they don't fly over that way too often, right? So we just have to take an action and see what happens. Now, there's 2 kinds of feedback. What are they? Positive and negative. Which one do you like best?
Positive.
Right. Positive feels good, right? You know you're on track. But have you ever had negative feedback and it was valuable?
Yes.
Right. So there's 2 kinds. Now, how many of you actively solicit feedback in your life? You say, hey, I want feedback on how to be a better parent or a better teacher, or how can I be a better salesperson? How can we serve your company better? Right? Most people don't ask for feedback. Why don't they ask? They don't want to hear it. But let's say you're a teacher in school and you don't ask feedback. How I can be a better teacher. The kids go home. Do you think they're talking about how you can be a better teacher? Oh, man, that teacher, she doesn't let us do this, and she's so mean, and yada, yada. Well, everyone in town knows but you. Everyone's talking about it. You're the only one not in on the secret. If you're not getting along with your wife, she's called her girlfriend, her mother, her sister, told the people in the office, everything that's wrong with you. But guess who she hasn't told, perhaps? You. So it's very important to ask for feedback. Now, I'd like to demonstrate how this works. I need another volunteer from the audience. Who'd be willing to play with me? Okay. What's your name? Mercedes? Okay, here's a microphone. What I want you to do is stand right here by the plants. And if you would face me over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk toward you in a moment. And you're my goal. As I'm walking toward you, 100% straight on, I want you to say, on course. You're like a feedback system. On course. I'm on course. If I go even off 5 degrees, you say off course. Okay? And you're going to be doing it like stream of consciousness. On course, on course, on course, off course, off course, on course, off course. Got the idea? Okay, are you ready? Okay, go. Why aren't you giving me any feedback?
Because you haven't done anything.
Because I haven't done anything, exactly. Here's the deal. If I don't take action, I don't get any feedback. See, that's why the action's so important. Now, we'll start again. You ready? Okay, here we go.
On course, course. Of course, of course, on course, of course, off, on, off, on, off, on.
Now, did I get here? Was I on course or off course more of the time, according to her? It was about even, wasn't it? Yeah. See, I could be off course more than I'm on course as long as I respond once I get back on course. So the key here is if I take action and listen to feedback, eventually I what? Get to my goal. Now, let me show you how a lot of people deal with feedback. It doesn't work. Stay here. And again, real fast. On course, off course if I'm moving toward you, and off course if I'm not. Are you ready? Okay, go. Here's how one person I know deals with feedback.
On course, off course.
Oh, no, it's too hard. I quit. Life's too hard. Now, do you know anyone that gets negative feedback and then they instantly just cave in? Yeah, so you've seen that. Here's another way people deal with negative feedback. See if you've ever seen this one. Are you ready? Okay, here we go.
On course, off course, of course, of course.
Bitch, bitch, bitch. You are so negative. Can't you say anything nice? Now, have you ever seen anyone get angry at the source of feedback that was really useful for them? Exactly.
Sure.
Now, here's how one person I know, he actually bankrupted 3 companies, 3 divorces. This is how he deals with feedback. Ready, Mercedes?
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Of course, of course, of course, of course.
Right? His favorite phrase was, my way or the highway. As long as you live in my house, you'll live by my rules. He was not open to feedback because he would rather be right than successful. Do you know anyone like that? Yeah. Let's give Mercedes a hand for volunteering. Thank you. Thank you. So the key here is to what? Ask for feedback, and when you get it, listen to it, then correct, and keep moving toward your target.